But of course, Linn turntables, they never stay standard. There are so many different possibilities out there, and that's why a clinic is so important, so that you get unique advice about your deck for your needs.
ครับสวัสดีครับวันนี้เราอยู่กับมิสเตอร์กอร์ดอนนะครับวันนี้เรามีงานลินคลินิกวันเสาร์ที่15ที่3พารากอนนะครับที่เราโปรโมทไปก่อนหน้านี้Hi Gordon สวัสดีครับ Good to have you
Nice
here
to meet you.
Nice to meet you This is your second time in Thailand right in Bangkok
Yeah, my third time.
Your third time yes So could you please introduce yourself and what are you doing at Linn to the audience
My name is Gordon Inch. So I have worked at Linn now for almost 25 years. Currently, I am part of the events and training team at Linn. So here to spend some time in this wonderful country.
Who give you the name of the LP12 guru?
Many years ago, we shot a TV show at the Linn factory. And someone described me on screen as Groove Guru, and the name has stuck.
But actually, he's not only the LP12 guru, but he's Linn Guru. You do everything as a trainer at Linn, right?
Yeah, I've done many jobs in the company over the years, but I guess with almost 25 years with Linn, I know everyone in the company, and I work with almost everyone at some point across a year.
So it means you know every past product up until the present product, right?
I know a lot of them. Some were before my time, but yes, mostly over the last 20 years, wow. I know pretty much all the products.
That's good. So, okay, let's start with the first question. So I want you to tell, how did you come up with the idea of the Linn Klinik?
So the idea for a Linn Klinik began around 20 years ago. At that point, the Linn Sondek LP12 had been in production for over 30 years, and there were many different possible upgrades that customers could buy to improve the performance of their Sondek LP12. So the idea of a clinic was where customers could bring their decks into store and meet myself and my colleagues at Linn, and we could give them advice on where best to spend their money on how to get the best upgrade on their turntable.
I see. So when it first take place?
So first LP12 clinics began in the UK. They were successful. And then we started to roll them out in different markets around the world. So now some of our dealers who are very knowledgeable about LP12, they run clinics themselves, and customers will come in, bring their turntables, and they will give them advice on where to consider upgrading next and what will keep that turntable going for many years to come.
I see. Wow. So because of the Linn Klinik, this give you become a busy guy right now. You have to travel a lot all over the world.
Yes, myself and my colleagues in the events team, we do travel a lot. 50% of our time is based in the factory in Glasgow, and 50% can be on a plane traveling to somewhere, anywhere in the world. So I'm the lucky one. I got Thailand.
Thank you. So could you please tell me the story that the most impressive story from the customer during the clinic?
So I think the thing that I find the most impressive is a few customers who I've met on two separate clinics over many years, and they took my advice on the first clinic, and on the second I was able to speak to them and they could tell me just how much improvement they saw from their turntable after fitting the part that we advised them to, and they were keen to know, okay, what's next? What's the next thing I should do? And I think that speaks really to the ability of the Linn Sondek LP12 to always get better and better and better. It's something that we've been building now for 52 years.
As we know that the LP12 has been like 52 years.
52 years.
The oldest LP12 you have met, How old is it?
Well, that one lives in the Linn factory. So its serial number is serial number 6. So that is one of the oldest, it's certainly the oldest that I've ever seen. It used to belong to a German customer who he very graciously decided to sell it back to Linn. And we have it now as a shrine, as a very important thing. Serial number 6 would have been very early in 1973. So as far as we are aware, it is the earliest one that we know of that is completely original and unique and is still working.
And the first time you saw that LP12, is it just look like the normal one, or it's really antique, or?
Yeah, so if I sit it next to this one, it would look almost identical. You can see some indications of its past 50 years, a mark here, a mark there, but it's in wonderful condition. And I guess that's the real key feature of the Linn Sondek LP12, is that it never ever becomes obsolete. Because all of the key components on this new flagship deck can fit one from 1973 if that's what you want to do.
I see. So you can't tell how old is it by its look.
There are certain things that you can identify.
The part of the LP12, right?
Yeah, a really early one will have an on switch and an off switch, two separate switches, but that was extremely early in production. But there are certain things that you can identify.
So could you please tell us about this morning event? What have you done to the customer who brings the LP12 today? So
today was great. We had a few customers who came to see us. One gentleman brought in his turntable, which is around 20 years old. It was in wonderful condition. He had made a few small changes himself to the cartridge in particular. So we were able to advise him on where best to spend his money. We actually advised him on upgrading the bearing, the single point bearing at the centre of the deck, to the latest revision of carousel bearing, which would give him a huge jump in performance. We did actually notice when we were looking at the deck that his tone arm wasn't set up quite right. So what we did was went over the whole deck, we reset up all of the tone arm settings, the tracking force, the height of the arm itself, and the anti-skate bias. Made sure that was perfect for the customer before he took that turntable home. But now he knows exactly where would be best to spend his money in the future.
If I want you to recommend one upgrade part to the customer, which part you want to recommend and why?
Well, the very first thing that I would recommend to any customer is the carousel single point bearing. It is the single biggest step up in audible performance. It is designed to fit every LP12 right back to 1973. There are one or two exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, every single LP12 can benefit from a carousel bearing upgrade, whether it is a new deck built prior to 2020 when carousel was introduced, or whether it's an older deck from the 70s, 80s, 90s or 2000s. It will be a big step in performance. It also includes a full service of the turntable at the same time. So really good if you have an older deck that hasn't maybe seen some care and attention over the last few years.
I see. So it means that Linn and even you yourself believe that upgrade from the down below to the top is the best idea, right?
So Linn as a company have always promoted something called the source first philosophy, pointing at the source of your hi-fi system as being the most important part, because everything that happens after the source, if musical information is missing, there's nothing that you can do to get it back. So the important thing to make sure is that the signal that goes into your amplifier and loudspeakers is the best that it can be. That is also true of the turntable. What is the source within the turntable? Well, the source is the bearing that everything spins on, and work out from there. So once the bearing has been upgraded, well, what's the next thing? The power supply. It makes the turntable spin. So that would be my next upgrade if I were a customer with an older deck, considering a more modern power supply. But of course, Linn turntables, they never stay standard. There are so many different possibilities out there,
yeah.
and that's why a clinic is so important, so that you get unique advice about your deck for your needs.
Okay, and to let you choose between the tone arm and the cartridge to be upgraded, which one first and why?
Well, that would very much depend on condition. So you may have, as we did today, a gentleman with an older tone arm, but his cartridge was only 1 year old. So there is no point in changing that cartridge. It's probably in its peak condition right now. His tone arm was also in very, very good condition. So I would say that your tone arm and cartridge, it depends on condition. Cartridges wear over a long time, but humans, they get used to the sound of cartridges as they wear. So it's not always apparent when a cartridge is worn, and that's why coming and seeing a specialist to have the cartridge examined, that's why that is so important.
Maybe that's about all the clinic. I want you to talk about the new product that Linn just have launched for the upgrade part for the LP12. Could you please tell me what is it and
Sure.
talk about it?
So we've just recently launched two great new fantastic upgrades. One is called Climax Radical, which is the power supply and speed control for our flagship level turntables. Climax Radical incorporates Linn's new Utopic power supply. Utopic is a new power supply that we have introduced over the last few years. It features lots of high technology, valley switching, power factor correction. The previous generation of Radical power supply used Linn's dynamic power supply technology that had one power rail output that was shared between the DC motor in the corner of the turntable and the Eureka phono stage that is inside. And demands on the motor controller could affect the power supplying to the Eureka phono stage and vice versa. New Climax Radical is very different, featuring Utopic power supply, our new power supply design. It now has two very separate power rail outputs. So the demands of one device, say the Eureka phono stage, have zero effect on the motor controller. So they're now completely isolated from each other. So that in turn gives higher performance.
I see. So that's about the Climax Radical. And the other product is?
Yeah, the other new product is Keel SE. The Keel SE is a sub-chassis, which is the suspended structure in an LP12. It holds all of the music making side of the turntable. The previous keel is a one-piece machined billet aluminium piece. New Keel SE is a two-piece construction, but we've used very, very clever finite element analysis software to simulate where lines of resonance and stress will occur in the sub-chassis. What that has allowed us to do is apply mass and material exactly where it makes a difference to the sound quality. And we've been able to remove material where it doesn't make a difference. So that means that the Keel SE, it looks quite strange at first, but it follows a pattern of having material exactly where we need it. That in turn means it is, amongst other things, 300% stiffer than the previous generation. The rigidity is important because any movement that happens here, you want to translate that into music. Anything that is interfering with that or being added to that, that we don't want. So the extra rigidity means that the stylus will track more accurately in the groove, and more of the movement of the stylus will turn into music that you can hear.
So we have two new products, the upgraded products for the LP12. If this is the product, this is the all Climax levels, and haven't upgraded yet to the QSE and the Climax Radical. Which item you suggest to upgrade first?
I think it's probably going to be easier to upgrade the Keel SE first, because you're going to have to take the deck apart to do that. But while you do that, you can also fit the new motor that comes with the new Climax Radical. So it's all done at the same time. For those two upgrades being fitted, the deck will come apart. You can also check everything else for any wear, make sure everything as it should be, and fit both products at the same time.
Maybe I think this is all for today. I want you to leave some message to the LP12 fans in Thailand. What will you say to them?
Well, I wish I could meet more of you. Thank you for those who came today to our clinic. Thank you very much for investing your money in Linn and buying what is the most successful turntable and most flexible turntable in history, the Linn Sondek LP12.
Well, thank you for your time for coming here in Bangkok for the Linn Klinik. I hope you see you again next year. ก็ขอบคุณนะครับสำหรับงานวันนี้แล้วก็มิสเตอร์กอร์ดอนที่อุตส่าห์สละเวลามาเป็นลินกูรูสำหรับงานในวันนี้นะครับสำหรับท่านที่พลาดไปก็ไม่ต้องเสียใจนะครับยังไงปีหน้าผมคิดว่าเราคงจะต้องจัดกันอีกเพราะว่าอยากจะให้แฟนๆ LP12 เนี่ยได้มาสัมผัสกับงานในวันนี้แล้วก็ได้พบกับลินกูรูอย่างมิสเตอร์กอร์ดอนนะครับก็ยังไงซะสำหรับท่านที่มีคำถามเกี่ยวกับ LP12 ก็ยังสามารถติดต่อทางเราหรือว่าจะดีลเลอร์ใกล้บ้านท่านก็ได้นะครับหรือจะโทรมาที่เบอร์ 0941941464 เพื่อสอบถามข้อมูลครับวันนี้ก็คงจะจบลงเพียงเท่านี้ขอบคุณมากครับสวัสดีครับ